begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. It's my own, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Well, hello there, good friends. Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy to have you join us for another episode of The Real Journey of Entrepreneurship. And yes, we are in the month of May. Can you believe it? We are almost halfway through the year, literally halfway through the year. And I hope that you are really crushing your goals. I hope so. I hope that you are being diligent and caring and also really loving on yourself through the process. My name is Anita Pearson. I'm the founder and CEO of 11375. We are so happy to have you join us today with another episode that will help us unpack business goals, becoming an author, and also transitioning out of a space that, guess what? From being in a government space to being an entrepreneur. I always say that I have the best seat in the house. Why? Because I get to interview courageous souls who have launched into this journey, some by chance, some by intention, but some who are really adding value to this entrepreneurial community. And my next guest is absolutely no different. When I read just slightly of Danielle's background, a former FBI analyst, FBI. So when I saw that first, I was like, let me make sure my stuff is in order. You know, that was me. But turned into a serial entrepreneur. Now, if I tell you a story that this is one that I want to unpack, this is one that I want to unpack. Like, you know, the why, you know, you're transitioning, you know, what does that really look like? And now an author. So you all know, you know, I can introduce myself all day, every day. But when it comes to the dynamic individuals who are sharing their story, I let them tell their story because, you know, they're the author of their life. So Danielle, welcome. Hey, Danielle.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm grateful to be here.
I'm grateful to see you, but we both tired. That's, you know, we tell that's the other side. We look good, but we're physically tired. But we show up in spite of and still manage to press through. So
That's right.
Danielle, tell me, do tell all the goodness.
For sure. So for starters, I'm Danielle Graves. I'm known socially as Danielle the Coach. I'm a certified life and leadership coach. As Anita said, I'm a former FBI analyst turned serial entrepreneur. I'm now founder and CEO of the Aramid Group, which is a leadership coaching and consulting firm that also doubles as a strategic partner for industry-leading organizations in healthcare, tech, and higher education. I am also the best-selling author of The Six-Figure Quitter, which is
Where's the book? I
the
need to see.
Entrepreneur's Guide to Transitioning Out of Your 9 to 5 Without Regret.
Mm.
Um, that is my first book. I call it my book baby, and I'm really really proud of it. And thinking about like submitting an application to be on your show, and thinking about the entrepreneur's journey, like the book is not only my story, but it's my blueprint to how I was able to make the transition.
Mm. Come on, I said, but you missing some stuff, Danielle. You missing some stuff. Most recently, Danielle and I met as a result of um, being connected through the Black Women in Business through Goldman Sachs. I happen to be a Goldman Sachs 10KSB alum, and what traditionally happens is, because I do part of my work is in the coaching and mentoring space, they pair us with businesses who are looking to get guidance and support in spaces where we have similar practices. So I was very fortunate enough to serve as a coach to one of the businesses, Danielle being one of them. So that's how we unofficially met. And I have to tell you, in discovering, some of the work that Danielle is engaged in, transitioning out of the 9 to 5 without regrets. Let's unpack that a bit.
Okay.
Why did you begin your business? Why did you leave? I want to say a good government job. Let's crack all the jokes. Good government job to transition into becoming a serial entrepreneur.
For me, what I found myself was in a space where I felt like my back was against the wall. For a long time, I felt like I was living a fairy tale career. Like my FBI story is made up. It's what fairy tales are made of, right? But if you know anything about a good fairy tale, there's always a little bit of drama before the happily ever after, right? And so what I realized is that although I had such a storied experience, there came a point in time where I fell out of love with the work that I was doing. But you got to understand, like, most people don't, because most people don't ever step foot inside the FBI. They know what they see from the TV and movies, but the FBI is such an intricate organization in that it covers a wide swath of opportunity, jobs, industries, departments, divisions, you name it, right? So you can have 10 different careers while working in the same building over, several decades. And so it offers you that diversity of experience. And so in moving around, which I was able to do during my time there, I spent 12 years. I started off as an honors intern, and I ended and left as a GS-14. And so I experienced a number of different, we call them violations and divisions. And so near the tail end of my career, I took an opportunity strategically, but learned really quickly that although my intentions were sound and my logic was sound, where and who I was in that season of my life, that particular position was out of alignment. And so it caused some serious friction in just my life, because work spills over into your personal life. That's just the way this thing goes. And so I found myself feeling like I was really hating life because I was so miserable from probably like 7 to 7, not 9 to 5.
Wow.
So that's what kind of set me off on this journey.
Okay. I have a couple of follow-up questions, because a couple of things that I heard without you actually saying the P word, which is purpose, right? And the other thing is, I gotta breathe through this one. Your overall mental health, when you discovered that was something, because you said you hated it, right? And that was not like, you needed to work, but it was something that every day you gotta put on a song like "Never Would Have Made It" or something just to get started, to go through that process. I wanna unpack I want to start with, how did you manage, right, and your overall mental health? Because you had to build yourself up every single day to go into a space that wasn't, that didn't make you feel good anymore. So I want to talk about that, because a lot of times when we are transitioning, or we're in a space where we're just so miserable, like, I need some realistic tips, because a lot of us may be there now and just don't know. If did you play the Never Would Have Made It every day? I don't know.
Listen, I had a whole like routine, and sometimes things would just drop in my spirit and I would go with it. But there's a song out right now, and part of the lyrics is like, hype me up, hype me up. I literally had to hype myself up every single day. And it was a vicious cycle. But I know, and what I didn't share is that on the end of my career in this space where I was extremely miserable, I was living in Richmond, Virginia, but commuting to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So that's easy 2 hours each way before
Wow.
working like 9.5 hours every single day.
Wow.
And then get home and do it all over again the next day. So that just added to the stress and the strain of it all. And so for me, I definitely was on a hamster wheel. And it's like I couldn't afford to allow any cogs in it to stop it, because I had to get up at 3:45 in the morning to catch a 5 o'clock van to make it to the city by 7, the whole traffic thing. But what I would find is that at work, what I would do is I would immerse myself in content, YouTube videos. I would listen to a lot of Eric Thomas. There was a particular sermon that Michael Todd, when he was in his prime back then, it was called Marked. And it was something about that sermon that just spoke to my soul and in different ways every time I listened. So I would listen to that 2 and 3 times a day while I'm at my desk, while I'm working, just trying my best to maintain my sanity and keep my head in the game. But it was a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivational videos and playlists that I would listen to. I don't even know that I had the energy to like read books. I had to multitask, like whether I'm riding on the van, it has to be in my ear. If I'm working, it has to be in my ear. If I'm driving, it has to be audio. But that was that in my faith. And just believing that I'm in this for a reason, and that there's absolutely a way out. And one of the things that struck me when you were playing your intro video coming in here today, you said the real journey of an entrepreneur begins with a decision. And it was that struck a chord with me, because I will never forget the moment that everything changed. It was when I came to grips with the fact that my life was out of control because I was so miserable in my 9 to 5. And I decided that nobody was coming to save me.
That part.
So I had to figure it out. And when I made the decision that I was going to do what I had to do, because I knew that there had to be more to life than what I was experiencing. Yeah, I'm making 6 figures. I'm making DC money, bringing it to Richmond, Virginia. Again, the logic is sound. Finances are great. Lifestyle, when I can enjoy it outside of work, is great. I built the house from the ground up, all of the things. I'm seemingly living the dream, but what it takes for the dream to keep the dream in the air is killing me softly.
Wow. Okay, Danielle. Now, connecting that to your purpose, right? Because as you are transitioning out of this space and going, yeah, this ain't for me. This ain't it. Digging deep into your purpose. Let's launch into that.
So purpose is what I say freed me from my 9 to 5, because a lot of people think about it. Most people will explore it like with one eye closed, right? Like, because it's like forbidden. Like, how I could never do that, right? Then there's some people that look at possibility with both eyes wide open. And it's just like, well, what do you do after spending over a decade, if not decades, in a space where you've developed all of this expertise, comfort? There's some complacency, right, that comes with the territory. There's some security, right? Especially if you've been climbing the ranks, you've been moving and shaking. What do you do when you feel like, well, wow, I don't think this is it for me, and that's all you know? How do you break free from what's familiar while maintaining the lifestyle that you've afforded yourself?
Mm.
And so in thinking through all of that, it's just like, well, dang, I know I'm skilled, I'm talented, I'm gifted. I've worked in a number of different divisions at this point. There's a number of things that I could do. You know, I have a degree in mathematics, a degree in IT. I'm not really doing anything with both of them right now. So I could kind of fall back on that if I wanted to. But I was in a space in life where I just wanted something different. And so for me, it wasn't enough to take just another job, because that's how I got into the space I was in when I was so uncomfortable. I had taken just another job strategically in the IT, the tech space, because I have a master's in IT. But that's when I realized, like, I've outgrown that part of me, right? I've evolved, but I haven't really been self-aware enough to recognize who I was in that season and what my soul needed. So I said, well, how do I get myself out of this pickle without being just as miserable as I am now in 3 months, 6 months, or a year? I really want to be intentional with whatever I do next. And so I got to think about this thing differently. And so that took me on this journey of exploring who I am, what I do well. And what I found is that I found myself asking my creator, like, God, why am I here? What is my purpose? And I've never before in my life, up until then, considered purpose, explored purpose. But I'm here to tell you, there will come times in life, and sometimes it's what I call a mid-career crisis, that will have you questioning everything and your creator, looking for the answers as to why you are here in the first place. And so purposes has been profound for me. It has unlocked so much for me. And even being 6 years removed as of a week or two ago from my last day at the FBI, it has kept me grounded in the throes of entrepreneurship, because as you also said in your intro, this ain't for the faint of heart.
It's not.
It's not, right? And so it's just like, okay, I'm here for a reason. This is bigger than me. You know, if this is why he created me, he's got to sustain me, even though it's uncomfortable, you know, right now. So purpose has been like my saving grace, but it's also served as an outlet when I've given myself the time and the space to explore it without judgment. And for me, I found my purpose at the intersection of what I enjoy doing, like what I love to do, because I do believe that you get to love what you are divinely created to do. It's at the intersection of what you love to do, what you are naturally gifted and talented in, and also what people come to you for help with, like the impact part of it. And so while giving my time the space to maneuver and just notice, and I talk about this in the book, and just like some really seemingly random occurrences that happened as I was on my purpose journey, that kind of gave me clues into how I serve people without even trying.
Okay. All right. So, although I'm learning some stuff too, right? This is the beauty about when I am engaging with really creative individuals who have the courage to step. But I do have to unpack something.
Sure.
One thing about us women is that we're super educated, and just our credentials are unmatched. I'm going to say it, unmatched, right? And sometimes within this space, when you said you're not doing anything with the degrees right now. You're into your, your purpose driven work right now. But the education, I can't pass that up. I want to highlight that just slightly, because a lot of times we just glaze over how educated we are within our spaces, within our lives. We're very educated. So I wanted to just say that really quickly
Thank
before
you.
I move
Thank you.
on. But really, as you were talking about, having conversations with your creator, and really just um having the courage to talk, right? Because that's still a faith walk, right? My conversations sometimes can be a bit violent, meaning, like, listen, sir, like, you need, it's above me, take care of this, and then I go about my business, because I know that type of pressure, for me, yes, we're built to handle, but sir, I don't want that, thanks, you take that, and then you continue to proceed forward. I was curious about, in terms of following up, right? How did you fund your business?
Um, I'm not a fan of the word like bootstrapping,
Okay.
but it was self-funded at the outset. I mean, I guess that's the best way to put it. There wasn't a whole lot of startup capital required. It's more so time and energy, and like marketing on social media, which is free, but it costs me my personal time, right? And then being in the coaching and consulting space, like overhead is limited, especially like I'm still home based,
Right.
right now. So it was whatever was needed was self funded.
And now you have the book.
I do have the book, yes,
Well,
the
let's
six,
unpack it. Let's talk
yeah,
about it. What are some of the six figure
quitter,
quitter, right?
yes,
So
yes.
for those who are within the 9 to 5 space, or 9 to 7, or 7 to 7,
Hmm.
are you encouraging them to jump immediately?
Absolutely not. And I'm so glad that you led with that question. I was at a vending at a book festival a couple of weeks ago, and a gentleman walked past, and he's learning more about me and the book. He's like, "So are you telling me that in this economy, you telling me to quit my job?" I said,
Mm.
I would never tell you to quit your job. I'm never going to tell anybody to quit their job. But what I also know, as the six-figure quitter, is that there is a subset of the population that I would never have to, because they're thinking about it every single day. They're losing sleep about it. They have that internal tug and that pull that's telling them there is greater waiting for you on the other side of courage.
Mm.
But that courage muscle is underdeveloped. This is who I wrote that book for. It's what I needed in that season that I didn't have, but I somehow mustered up the courage through faith and the pursuit of purpose to do. And so I not only quit one six-figure job and lived to tell about it, I quit two.
Okay.
2019 was the second time that actually stuck, but 5 years prior, I was already in the six-figure realm, and I had bid the FBI adieu at that point in time in my career as well. But I ended up being recruited back into a space that I believed in, by leadership that believed in me, and it was a match made, right? So the FBI wasn't done with me, and so I played the game a little bit longer. Then in 2019, like, enough was enough, and that's when I took the leap and never looked back. And so, no, I'm never telling anybody to leave your job. But for those that are considering, my single request is to read the book before you take another step.
Mm. Okay. All right. So you're in this space full time.
I am.
All right. And what are some of the unspoken challenges that you experience as being in this space full time? What does that look like for you? And I'm saying unspoken because, if we look on what I call the social platforms, you know, everybody balling. I promise you, we all are. And I'm saying we. I try to stick to my authentic life, right? Some months are great financially. Other months, you have to learn how to manage your cash flow. Speak to it, Danielle. Speak to it.
You told not a single solitary lie, right? So okay, so unspoken truths. How intense it is,
Mm,
and what is required of you as a solopreneur, if that's how you're starting out, which most of us do,
yep.
and how many hats you actually wear in your business before you even get to delivering the service or the product that you are offering in exchange for currency. There is so many steps between the idea and the sale that there's, and I don't even think that their explanation can do it justice. It's just one of those rites of passage as an entrepreneur, as a solopreneur slash business owner slash entrepreneur, that until your eyeballs deep in it, you don't realize it literally is a journey of a trillion miles and steps all together. That is something that kind of was a blow to me as someone who, and I shared this with you when we had our mentoring session. Like traditionally, I've been number one at being number two. You know, you just give me the vision and give me my piece of the puzzle. I'm gonna go do that, and I'm gonna do it exceptionally well, and I'm gonna make you look good at the same time. I don't need the spotlight. I don't need it. I thrive behind the scenes. Just give me the space and the trust and the autonomy, and I'll change your life and your business. Right? Any team that I'm on is an A team, whether I'm at the helm or whether I'm a team member. That's my philosophy. And like people either are going to step up to the plate because they're in silent competition with your girl when there's never really any competition. I'm just saying, right? But it does something. The way that I show up, it does something to the people that are in my immediate sphere of influence. It's my work ethic, and it's a part of why I've been so successful as a career professional, and why I also felt like if I can do all of this stuff for these people, how successful might I be in a business of my own? Well, I wouldn't consider myself a failure, right? But there's growing pains because I'm not able to just be the worker bee in my business. Somebody's got to market. Somebody's got to talk to my CPA, right? Somebody's got to keep all of these licenses and administrative statements, updated. Somebody's got to go out and network and meet people so that my business is a household name and top of mind when somebody needs leadership development or they're looking to quit their 6-figure job. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff takes time, and let's thicken the plot. It takes energy. Your girl is an introvert.
Yeah, I was going to go there next. I was going to crack some jokes about.
So it's already, my energy is already limited. And so I've literally had to, when we talked about hyping, I got to hype myself up. If I thought I had to hype myself up to go to that place back then, I have to hype myself up on a whole different level because I have been called to be a CEO. And a CEO is night and day from an employee / worker bee. And I've had to have some real heart-to-hearts with self. And it's just like, there are some days when I just want to be a worker bee. I need a break. I just want to do the work. And then there's other days I'm just like, well, hey sis, you get to choose. That's one of my monikers. You get to choose. And it's just like, do you want to choose? Because there's plenty of opportunity for you to go. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have a difficult time finding a job, right, to do that full time. But you have this calling. There's this purpose piece, so are you going to be obedient to that and trust? Because that's another thing. Like the faith, and I will never discount the faith that I had in the season where I made such a courageous decision that I know a lot of people thought that I was crazy. But I also know that a lot of people's faith muscle have been strengthened as a result of watching my journey because they did not believe. And I know they didn't believe because they told me. And that's okay. I talk about that in the book as well. Everybody plays a role, right? But some people, because of your courage and your faith, you will make believers out of them. And sometimes that's a part of your purpose. Somebody's got to go first. Yeah, those are a couple things that have been unexpected and challenging, but because I have kept my head in the game, they have been the catalyst of me growing into the version of me that I am now and accepting my call as a CEO. Like, even though this is 6 years into this thing, it's not until this year that I felt the true call. Like, this is the year I become a CEO.
Mm. All right, let me rest in this a bit. All right, I told you I'm getting some stuff out of this too. So I want to talk about. I want to start with the jokes first. Right? So Danielle and us discovered that we are the introverted queens. And what I shared is, although people do not think that I am, I've trained society to accept me as an extrovert, and I am not. I have to schedule breaks in between networking interactions. I have to know somewhat where I'm going. I don't go everywhere, not because I think I'm all that, but I'm just trying to manage my energy. And when I mean energy, it's literally you're going out to networking events. So I'll give you an example. This month, May is designated 2 months, mental health and also small business month. And for whatever reason, I guess everyone thought out there was events after events after events after events and this discussion. And, and it was just, okay, you cannot be everywhere. Right. And so, but because I know that I wanted to do follow up with certain folks that I emailed, and those are the ones I went to, showed my face, had conversation, made interaction with. But even after that, it's still like, okay, let me, regroup, process what needs to be done, what needs to be delegated, and then decide, make a choice as to whether I want to go out to the next one. Sometimes it's a no, right? A lot of times it's been a no. And then I will catch you when I am on the next one. There's a lot and I'm just sharing my where I am right now. September will be officially 10 years that I've been in this space, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm still going to tell you that throughout this process, it's still a management of, where do I want to go? Where do I want to show up? So I want to highlight that because Danielle and I had jokes about that. It was amazing. But on the flip side, when you think about part of our personality types, we really do good business, right? And that shows up in different spaces, meaning, whether, we feel most comfortable sometimes delegating the things that we traditionally would be accustomed to doing. But as you're going into the CEO role, there's certain things that you really have to delegate, which leads me to the other thing that you mentioned about, really a lot of times when you're entering into this space where you're believing in yourself, everyone is going to call you crazy. Everybody's going to, no one is going to believe in you as hard as you believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's where it becomes lonely, right? It becomes like, oh, I thought you was my people's, and that you kind of was seeing the vision as I was talking. And it's not even the case, right? What I've learned is to no longer take it personally. What I have been very, 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 very blessed with, right? And this is where the Goldman Sachs 10KSB came in for me. At the time, I was thoroughly praying for a squad. right? And I remember during that time frame, I was very depressed. Depressed meaning like it was just a bunch of madness. Business was, contracts, all the madness that you can think that can happen. It was like a perfect tsunami. I get into the program, and what I didn't realize is that I was now attached to 38, I think it was 39 of us, other CEOs who were experiencing some similarities. There were peers in my group that had and still have, they had a lot of staff. I think one of my peers had like 80 or 90 as a part of their employee group. Other one had like 20, 25. I know I had at the time 6 individuals that worked with me, but we were all on different levels. So when I say that, when you have someone that you think is not going to believe in you, you now have a group of individuals who totally understand, right? When I mean understand, it's like, we still to this day, we meet, when we can quarterly, but we have, and we're exchanging, and we know, like, you good today? Nah, not really. Nah, no, no, you will be. Okay, thank you. And then you get that motivation because they get it. Oh, I have to hire staff. You got any recommendations? Yes. Here, use this person. And listen, I need access to capital. Do you have any recommendations? Or listen, I saw this opportunity. Do you want to work with me on it? It's a different level of experience when you are connected to a crew that you may not be in the same industry, but you're in business, and you know that as you tap in, you get the answers that you need. So I was so glad that you mentioned that, because everyone thinks we're crazy. When I mean everyone thinks we're crazy. My honest belief now is that you got to believe in yourself enough. You got to make it sexy for yourself, right? And it will, and also find a crew that kind of gets it. So I'm glad you mentioned that, and just putting that out there, that it's yeah. When they say it's lonely, it doesn't have to be, but you got to find the group of peers that can help to motivate you, help you lean on the couch sometime, and just keep pressing and being able to grow and share, um, perhaps partnerships within that space. So I just wanted to add that, because you elevated that. And sometimes when we're in these spaces, yeah, it'd be the other folks it'd be the other folks.
I want to add something to that too, because you took it to another level when you mentioned like the lonely part of it. And if you've been around enough entrepreneurs, or even just outside looking in, and they get to talking enough about their experience, the L word will come up, right?
Yep.
Not the love, but it's the loneliness, right?
Yeah.
But there's something that I also experienced coming out of like the bureau with my crew in that space. And I've always been the kind of person who, I kind of say I live by like the Issa Rae model of like doing business. And I was this way before we even kind of had that wrapper for who she is and how she shows up in the world. But I believe in reaching across. Like I may have friends, in high places, that I probably don't even call on as much as I could. Like that's just how I show up in the world, right? Like I'm not here, I don't use people, and I probably don't use them
enough
like they want me to, right? So I got to work on that too, because I do have access that I'm probably not leveraging. That's a different podcast episode that we can revisit. But there are people who I knew had like entrepreneurial aspirations. And again, I'm never going to tell anybody to quit their job, because I'm not paying your bills. I got to worry about paying mine, right? But, even sharing resources, or, I'm reaching back, and it's like the energy changed. And it's just like, it's me. I'm D. Like, it's just me. My environment just changed, but it's just me. But their energy changed towards me. And like that, it even brings tears to my eyes to this day, because these are people that like I rock with, and that rock with me hard. Like when I'm doing, whatever waves I'm making in the FBI, because I made some waves, right? And my name will forever echo in those halls, whether they try to suppress it from a DEI standpoint or not. I did what I did, and it was an amazing thing. But just the energy shifting, and again, energy is already precious for me as an introvert, right? And so that was something that I was just like, wow, like things have, and it's just like, okay, I give gratitude for my experience with you in that setting. So now I got to come over here and just do me. And what I've also found is that immersing myself in communities with others that are on similar journeys. And I even talk about this in the book too. A lot of times people don't take a leap of faith because they're scared of doing it alone. But what you got to realize is that I'm willing to bet some money that without failure, anytime you take a courageous action, there are people waiting for you on the other side of your yes.
Yeah.
And that's called divine alignment. You will never know that they're there until you make the first step. But that's where the faith and the trust comes in. Like, I'm going to be okay, even if I have to journey alone. But I'm telling you, by lived experience, there has always been a person or people that I have met, that I have crossed paths with, that I've engaged with, interacted with, that have been just who and what I've needed when I needed it. And this 1 Million Black Women, Black in Business program is yet another testament to that very thing. I didn't know anything about this program 2 years ago. There's somebody in my inner circle that I've met on this journey of entrepreneurship that sent me the application last year. It's like, hey, D, you're the first person I thought about when I saw this. Now, at this point in time, I've known people who've gone through it. It's one of those things that was on my radar. I should look into that, right? My homegirl sent it to me. She's another entrepreneur. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm adding it to my laundry list of things to do. And so then a day comes and I'm like, okay, I got to look into this application. I'm going to do it tomorrow. The same homegirl messaged me on the same day that I said I'm gonna do it tomorrow. She's like, hey D, just a reminder, the application's due tonight. That was nothing but God using her and her being obedient, because had she not sent it, I would have gotten to it the next day and I wouldn't even know you. So there's that part of it. And one other thing I didn't want to miss an opportunity to share about one of those unspoken expectations, things that I didn't expect. The sheer amount of investing in learning, in support, in resources. I've spent more money on this side of my 6-figure career for business development / personal development of my own funds, like whether it's business or me paying for it, versus me paying for it myself when I was gainfully employed. Like that, when I sit with that, it blows my mind every time. And I'm just like, if more people would take control of their personal and professional development and not just depend on their employer to pay for it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you're giving me good, what I call good juju. Good juju. Good. Additional thoughts. What guidance would you provide those who are interested in starting a similar business?
Oh, that's a great question. First and foremost, I would get as clear as possible on the end game. Where do you see yourself going? Like, and I'm talking thinking bigger than like you probably feel like you have the capacity to believe. Like what do I really see as possible? So there's that. The second thing is, from a self-awareness standpoint, owning from day zero that as I step into full-time entrepreneurship, I may be new in this business, but I'm not new to business.
There you go.
Just that, and I'll speak personally, being transparent, not having that level of confidence back then, I want to say has been instrumental in what I would call a delay, whether it was divine or not, a delay in me really owning who I am and what I bring to the table as a CEO. So I I'm a bad mama jamma. Been one. I've been her. But the way I show up personality wise, like when I'm in a new space, I play the background. I'm a sponge. I'm in a posture of learning. But in this space, if you're in this thing to make money, you got to learn and do. And learn and do some more, and then do some more, do some more, do some more, learn the lesson, and then go get some help. You know,
Yeah. Learn,
it's
do, and delegate.
it's it's a dance that you have to do. And so a lot of times, and I've also served as like a business development coach in a couple of different spaces because I'm a former senior business analyst. Like I get business, I get processes, workflows, all of those things, even though I have a lot to learn and put into place in this business of my own. It's a weird like dynamic, and I was just like, well, God, you set me up for this. I guess it don't have to make sense to me. These people get help and make great money based on my strategy and my advice, so I'm just gonna go with it. It is what it is. But in that, and recognizing like I'm bringing all of what I know and all of who I've been into this, there's just some other spaces and other things that I need to learn about running a profitable business, especially in a space where what I'm offering is not second nature. If I was selling books and food, I don't have to teach people, why they need food, or what food is, or the benefits of food, right? The level of education is different. But for me, stepping into this space of coaching and consulting, and also really identifying like my target audience, if you will, you couldn't have told me that I wasn't going to come out of my coaching certification program and not have a wait list of clients. But the reality of the situation is nobody in my sphere of influence was talking about coaching when I started talking about coaching.
Right.
So the educating and the brand awareness, I literally was starting from ground zero and having to continue to beat the drum, continue to show up on social media, continue to, immerse myself in spaces and do like deep marketing research to understand like, well, is this the angle that I want to take? Is this what I really want to do? It's a process, and you must submit and commit to it. But also, you cannot discount the necessity of marketing in what you do. I know we all want to wake up and just post something one time and make $1 million. And unfortunately, for most of us, that's just not how things will work early on. There will come a time if we're consistent enough and we build a community, and we have our hooks in the right places, that when we pop out and say, hey, here's this opportunity, limited availability, get in where you fit in, and people will move accordingly because there's respect for us and our brand. But that takes time. It's called brand development. And just giving yourself the patience and the grace to build, and know that most are not overnight sensations. Even though when you learn about somebody, it seems like they popped out overnight, but what you don't really get until you listen to shows like The Real Journey of Entrepreneurship is how long people have been in the trenches before the thing just clicks.
So I'm a 10-year overnight success. How about that? Yay. Yay. 10 years. And that's officially September. I am, for those who are watching this via video, I am sharing Danielle's website, where you can find information about Danielle, the coach, and some of the services that offered life coaching, business development, and keynote speaking are some of the services that are offered in addition to um, coaching through this book. And I'm going to say a book. We have an author in the house.
Thank
We
you.
have an author in the house. So Danielle, as we wrap up, right? You shared some gems, right? We talked about, some of the unspoken truths about, this space. We talked deeply about purpose and faith.
Hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
Um, yeah, something that people have randomly shared with me over the course of the last 5 or 6 years, and it's been unsolicited, but they have been right on time.
Mm.
And every once in a while, someone will slide into my DMs or comment under a post, and they'll say these two words, and it's keep going.
Mm.
And it brings tears to my eyes, even just thinking about it, because it always hits me right in the center of my soul, because it always comes at a moment when I'm doubting or when I'm questioning or when I'm frustrated, when I'm physically exhausted. And when you get there, the mind is already gone, right? The mental exhaustion has been happening so much that it's worn my body down. And so for somebody to see me, because again, like we said, this thing is lonely, right? And sometimes you wonder, like, hey, is my mic on? Are y'all hearing me? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I Casper today? And so for somebody to see enough of me to say, I see you, keep going. I offer that to you if you may be questioning, like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like the going does get tough. And so I offer that to you as well, to let you know that you're not broken, you're an entrepreneur.
And you're not broken, you're living on purpose. All right, Danielle, you got to come back somehow, some way. Got to come back.
I would love to.
But before you go, I still come with the jokes. I got some rapid questions to
Okay.
ask. And it's like usually one word. The last question is usually more in depth. So let me know when you're ready.
I'm never ready for these, so I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. So, on a good day, do you appreciate pizza or burgers?
Pizza with no meat. I'm pescatarian.
Okay. Shoes, high heels, or sneakers?
Heels.
In 3 years. 3 years. Where are you taking your businesses?
To a whole nother level.
Mm.
Simply stated.
And I'm with you. I believe it. I had the conversation, so I'm with you. I see it. The question is, will you see it? Will the community see it? Will you support? You can reach out to Danielle on LinkedIn, Danielle the Coach, on Instagram, Danielle the Coach. You can check out website as well. Um, can we show the book again, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Please and thank you. Yes,
Absolutely.
The Six Figure Quitter by Danielle Graves. So,
And you can get that at the sixfigurequitter.com.
okay.
If you get it there, I'll sign it and send it to you. It is available on Amazon as well, if that is your preference.
Yeah, you're so generous. We're going to go to your website. Okay, Danielle, thank you so much. It has been awesome. Right?
Yes.
And I want to tell you, I heard everything you said to me. It wasn't just for the community, it was for me. I just got a coaching session for me.
Thank you for your light, and thank you for having me. I'm grateful our paths have crossed.
Yeah, just we're gonna keep in touch. We're gonna keep in touch. So thank you. Look forward to having you join the show again. Thank you for joining. So, good people, good friends. I told you, right? I didn't do enough justice, right? But Danielle told her story and some really important tips. lessons would learn. We talked about the unspoken truth about being in this space. And I'm look forward to seeing, what Danielle does in this space. I think that she is absolutely brilliant. Um, and a couple of tips that I learned. One, about making sure that you are managing your time, your energy, and your resources. Finding a like-minded community to be able to help you to grow, because yes, it does get lonely, but once you find a good crew to help you through your process, it becomes consistently doable. Your faith, can't say enough about that. We talked about faith and purpose, and continuing to do and keep going, because sometimes in those spaces where it's scary, quiet, you're doubting yourself, you just want to throw in the towel. But I want to thank Danielle for coming, sharing. Please reach out, LinkedIn, Danielle the Coach, on LinkedIn and also on Instagram. So, good friends, so I want to tell you that, this is really a wrap of Small Business Month. Small Business Month has been designated for, this specific time and space. However, there are so many things that you can do every month to help you to elevate and grow your business. But as we wrap up, I want to make sure that you know that there's a lot of things that are out there in terms of resources and to help you grow and scale your business. First and foremost, I want to share that within New York State, New York City, there are a number of small business programs and opportunities that exist. I want to definitely share just one resources with the New York City Department of Small Business Services. Is an opportunity if you are New York City based. And the reality is there are a number of small business services that exist within your state. You just have to do a Google search and tap in. This one happens to be connected to New York City. I want to also share, just really thinking about building out your business networking relationships. Business networking is mutually beneficial. Be sure that you are sharing insights, and you know we all have good ideas. Just make sure you share them appropriately. It is mutually beneficial. And on that note, I want to thank you all for taking time to join us for the real journey of entrepreneurship. If you are interested in being featured, want to buy ad space, please consider giving us a call, 718-691-8966, or email us at info@11375.com, or you can book us to be on the show. We would love to have and share your experience within this specific space. And finally, as we transition out, I want to, just share. Most recently, we had the fourth annual Full Circle Business Brunch, which is something that is a space where small businesses get to connect and get to share um, ideas, resources over a good meal. We had our fourth annual business brunch, and I actually want to share, this specific video that we had as a highlight, because it's something that I'm very, very proud of. And I want to thank you all for supporting the real journey of entrepreneurship. Thank you for supporting 11375. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you so much for joining. And here is our video.
Welcome to our fourth annual Full Circle Business Brunch.
This room is small enough but big enough that you can connect with someone. And that is the intention of the Full Circle Business Brunch experience. Being in business is not a competition. We all can win at all levels.
We come from a lot of poverty. How do you break out of a scarcity mindset as a small business.
If you keep it positive, positive will always keep you. The idea that I'm always broke, I never have enough money. You can easily say, I don't have enough money yet. And that changes how you then move forward with your next financial decision.
I'm here to help educate you all on things that you may not have known about, because we find that there's a lot of suffering that goes on when people don't know about stuff.
When you're entering into a business relationship, it's still a relationship. So you want to maintain a good rapport with whoever it is that you're transacting with. You're hiring an attorney to not only protect you, but to also be the bad guy in certain situations.
We can help you connect to people who are looking for jobs. We have 200,000 people in our job bank. We're here to help the businesses out there. We're doing really the heavy lifting in our economy.
This is my fourth time attending this event. Each year it gets better and better. And it's really inspiring to see what she's doing for the community and working with the youth.
Why I wanted to start my business is because my mom was working too hard, right? I want to have my own business, my own clothing to wear on the street.
This is an amazing, amazing event with lots of knowledge for business owners, business starters, and just who's thinking about getting in the industry. Hope this continues to be an annual event for those who want to learn more about business and get into the business space.
Thank you for being a part of this transformational experience.
A brighter day, tomorrow will